If you're using InstaWP hosting, you need to understand how billing works. InstaWP uses a pay-as-you-go hosting model. This means you are not charged in a traditional fixed monthly way. Instead, you are charged based on the resources your website uses, and the billing is calculated on a daily basis. So in this video, let's understand how billing at InstaWP works. InstaWP hosting works on a pay-as-you-go model. This means you only pay for the days your site stays active. On the pricing page, you may see the plan cost shown as a monthly amount, but that monthly amount is only for easier understanding. Your actual charge is calculated per day. For example, let's say you create a site on the Sandbox plan. The Sandbox plan is shown as $2 per month, but you are not charged the full $2 immediately just because you created a site. The daily cost of this plan is around 7 cents per day. So if your site stays active for the full 30 days, then your total will be around $2. But if your site stays active only for 10 days and then you delete it, you will be only charged for those 10 days. So the calculation will be 7 cents into 10 days, which amounts to 70 cents, not $2. This same logic applies to other hosting plans as well. One important thing to remember is that resources are calculated per site. So when you create multiple sites, each site has its own resource usage and its own billing calculation. For example, if you create a site on the Sandbox plan, the daily charge applies to that one site. If you create 5 sites on the Sandbox plan, then each active site will be billed separately based on its plan and usage duration. Now, if you want to understand exactly what you're being charged for, you can check everything from your InstaWP account. Go to the billing details section. Here, your billing is broken down clearly so you can see each charge separately. This makes it easier to understand which feature or add-on is contributing to your final bill. You can also click on View Usage to see more details such as which site was created, which plan or service was used, and how many billing days were counted for that service. So instead of seeing one combined number without context, you get a proper breakdown of your billing. As the InstaWP billing is daily, you will be charged for the full day even if your website is active only for a few hours during the billing day. Let's say you create a site and keep it active for only 2 hours, you may still be charged for one full billing day. Now let's understand how one billing day is calculated. InstaWP follows the UTC time zone for billing. This means the billing day is calculated on UTC calendar days, not necessarily your local time zone. Let's take a simple example to understand this. Suppose you create a site a few hours before the UTC day changes and then you delete it after the UTC day has changed. You will be charged for 2 full days even if the site was active for only a few hours. Why? Because it has crossed 2 UTC calendar days. Now let's talk about what happens when you change the plan of a site. Suppose you create a site on one plan and later upgraded it to a higher plan. In that case, the billing will be calculated based on how many billing days the site stayed active on each plan. For example, let's say you created a site on the Sandbox plan on Monday. The Sandbox plan costs around 7 cents per day. Then on Wednesday, you upgraded the same site to a higher plan, say the Plus plan, which costs around 30 cents per day. Now let's say you delete that site on Sunday. In this case, your billing will be calculated something like this. The site was active on the Sandbox plan for 2 days, which amounts to 14 cents, and the site was active on Plus plan for 5 days, which amounts to $1.5. So your total billing would amount to $1.64. So in simple terms, you are not charged only based on the plan you started with or the plan you ended with. You are charged based on how many billing days the site stayed active on each plan. That's how regular site billing works at InstaWP, but other than the site plan, there are a few add-ons that can also be included in your billing. So it is important to understand these separately. The first add-on is Snapshot. Let's say you build a website on InstaWP, you design the pages, set up the themes, install the plugins, configure everything, and now you want to save that site setup for future use. In that case, you can save the site as a snapshot. There are 2 types of snapshots. The first one is a standard snapshot that costs around $1 per site per month or around 4 cents per day. The second one is an instant snapshot and costs around $2 per site per month or around 7 cents per day. this snapshot cost is an additional cost and is charged separately from your regular site plan. Now if you save a site as a template and use it for WaaS, its costing works in the same manner. Another add-on you may see in billing is site management. If your site is on the Plus plan or any higher plan, you don't need to pay separately for advanced site management because it is already included in those plans. But if your site is on the Sandbox plan or the Starter plan and you need site management features, then you can enable site management separately. Now inside site management, there are two options. The first option is basic site management that includes features like manual plugin and theme updates, magic login, database editor, purge cache and other basic management features that is free for life. The second option is advanced site management and it includes more powerful features like uptime monitoring, client reporting, activity logs, performance monitoring, backups, increased staging limits, auto updates and more. If you choose advanced site management, there is an additional cost of $2 per site per month. And just like hosting plans, this is also billed daily. So let's say you create a site on the Sandbox plan and keep it active for 1 full month. The Sandbox plan costs around $2 per month. Now if you also enable advanced site management for that site, that will add another $2 per month. So your total cost for that site for the month will be $2 for the Sandbox plan plus $2 for advanced site management, which amounts to $4 for the month. The same logic applies to starter plan sites as well. Also, site management is not limited to sites hosted on InstaWP. If your WordPress website is hosted somewhere else, you can still use InstaWP's advanced site management. To do that, you simply need to install InstaWP Connect plugin on your external WordPress website and connect it with InstaWP. Once connected, you can manage that site from the InstaWP dashboard and use advanced site management features. In that case, billing is calculated based on the number of connected sites using advanced site management. The next thing that can affect your billing is the two-way sync add-on. Two-way sync is used when you want to push changes between two WordPress websites. The cost for two-way sync is 2 cents per synced event. Now, what does an event mean? When you make changes on a site, InstaWP records the changes as events. For example, these can be events like plugin updated, page modified, template updated, plugin deactivated, post updated, theme changed, etc. Now when you sync, you do not always need to push every single event. You can choose which events you want to push from one site to another. Let's understand this with an example. Suppose you made multiple changes on your staging website. You updated a plugin, you modified a page, you updated a template, you deactivated a plugin. Now you do not want to push all these changes to the live site. You only want to push 2 changes: page modified, template modified. In that case, you can select only these 2 events and then run the sync. Since the cost is 2 cents per event, your billing for the sync will be 2 cents into 2 events, which amounts to 4 cents, and this sync action will add 4 cents to your billing. The last add-on that can affect your site billing is white label domain. InstaWP allows you to build a website and map it to your own custom domain name. This is useful when you do not want to use the default InstaWP site URL and want the site to open on your branded domain instead. But using a white label domain comes with an additional cost. The cost is $5 per white label domain per month. And just like other site related changes, this is also billed daily. That's how billing works inside InstaWP, and the main thing to remember is simple. You are not logged into a fixed monthly charge for every website. You only pay based on a site plan, the number of billing days and the resources used per website. This makes InstaWP flexible for developers, agencies and teams who wants to build, test, manage and launch WordPress websites without paying for unused hosting time. Try it for free at instawp.com and stay tuned for more deep dives like this.